not our candidates. Their economy is not our economy.
Their government is not our government. Their prisons are not our prisons. Their police are not our police. And their endless wars are not our wars. And their recovery for the few is not our recovery. The 1% is quaking in their boots because we're waking up to the fact that we have power and we're going to use it. We have the power to make the minimum wage a living wage. We have the power to turn the tide on climate change. We have the power to create a welcoming path to citizenship. We have the power to end the racist war on drugs. It's in our hands. Together, we can build a world that puts people and the planet and peace over profit. That's in our hands. Our power to create this new world. It's not in our hopes. It's not in our dreams. It's in our hands. Thank you.
Welcome to Independent Green Party, Green TV, the show that's focused on positive Green New Deal, eco-jobs for the economy solutions, and independent Green Party and Green Party candidates, advocating for solar jobs, wind jobs, geothermal jobs, rail jobs, conservation jobs, efficiency jobs. With us on the show today, Elizabeth Croydon. Elizabeth Croydon of the Maryland Green Party. Elizabeth Croydon, as you will soon see, has a wonderful sense of humor and does a little stand-up work. Is that right?
I do a little stand-up work, that's right.
Also experienced with making movies?
Yes, I've produced 3 feature movies, and I tour I appear at Stand Up New York in New York City very regularly, and I have a radio show that runs here in this area, Carrie.
Fantastic. So Elizabeth Croydon, let's get right to it. That
All right, let's
radio
do it.
show.
Yes, it's called The Evil Do-Gooder Show.
Evil Do-Gooder.
Not me, not you. Everyone's an evil do-gooder, right?
That's yes, ma'am.
You know, there's a moving company that moves women out of abusive relationships for free. That's a little bit of evil do-gooding, right?
It is.
The Green Party. Got to pull out the big guns. Yeah. I got him. It's a little bit of evil do-gooding.
That's right.
You know.
Right. Where's the radio show? Where can you listen to it?
You can listen to the radio show at yourcityradio.com. You are City Radio, as in we all are, and it's spelled You Are City Radio, like the Sumerian city, the ancient Sumerian city, or the Underground Rainbow reading, which is a long-standing cultural arts beatnik poetry reading in the Maryland area, which a lot of Green Party members actually attended throughout its history.
Now, on the show, on your radio show.
Yes.
Now, I know that I'm planning to join you at some point on your radio show.
That's very exciting.
Me too. And we're going to talk about Green Party politicians, green ideas, positive Green New Deal solutions.
Absolutely. It's so easy being green. The frog lied, Carrie.
Yes.
It's hard for a frog to make a living these days, what with the environment, et cetera. So I don't blame him for lying. However, I was just talking to some geese the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact. They're flying north for the winter, Carrie.
Yes.
The climate has changed, you know. I'm taking in refugees. Polar bears. I have a family of polar bears that I'm taking in. We're trying to make room for the Syrians right now, but it's a big climate crisis everywhere.
Who comes first?
What came second? I don't know. Third base.
Abbott or Costello?
We're all in this together.
Yes,
so today's the pitcher, tomorrow's the catcher, but now is when we need the Green Party.
Elizabeth Croydon, tell us a bit about yourself, where you were born, where you grew up, anything you're willing to admit to.
Sure. I grew up in Maryland. I grew up in Bowie, and then I moved to Montgomery County and spent the majority of my life there. And I studied theater the majority of my life and worked very hard to avoid politics. But you could say that I have a sort of homegrown rebellion that drew me slowly into it. My birth father was a presidentially honored police officer. Wonderful. And my father, Stan Croydon, also known as Scooter Man, is an advocate for Americans with disabilities, as well as a lawyer. So you can see I walk on both sides of the fence.
When you said something there, Elizabeth Croydon, it reminded me of Dr. Jill Stein.
One
of the 5 Green Party candidates running for president.
I love Jill. I love Jill Stein.
She's an adorable lady.
Yes.
And she talks about, Harvard Medical School. She went there, she taught there, worked as a pediatrician. She talked about how she began her work in medicine and then saw, and really didn't get into politics, and then saw, as sort of how you referred to it, that the solutions had to be in the political realm.
Absolutely. If someone's not going to change the world for the better, you just better figure it out and do it for yourself. DIY, which is what the evil do-gooder doctrine is on our radio show, Not Me, Not You. I love Jill Stein. I love that she's putting forward a progressive politic, and she's not putting up with the entrenched, I think psychotically entrenched system as it is now. Our economy is based on war, and war spelled backwards is raw. And we're all getting a raw deal, and it's not the raw diet, which I wouldn't mind going on if someone were to convert me. But let's talk about disarmament now. Let's talk about handling conflict with laughter or rock and rollitics. I'm tired of politics. Politics seem to get people mass killed, mass bombed, mass bombings, drones. DC stands for drone control, and I'm willing to do my part to help it.
Well, and one of the other reasons that we're thrilled to have you on Green TV today,
Yeah.
Green Party Green TV.
Tell me.
Now, you have been urged by people who love and adore you and respect your intellect and your obvious comedic talents.
Oh, say some more.
To run as a Green Party candidate for Congress in 2016.
I have.
You admit to.
I admit to being asked
and encouraged.
Yes.
And we'd love to
for
have
years.
You, but we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you make a statement about that today. What are your thoughts, Elizabeth Croydon, Maryland Green Party, potential candidate for United States Congress? Bring humor to a political campaign and humor to a building much in need of it, apparently.
Well, sure, Carrie. I'm willing to do it. If someone has to take the gloves and throw them on the ice, I'm the hockey player for the job. I'm going to get it done. I'll be the Green Party goon, period. I will run on a platform based on the Jackson 5 Commandments and the late, great peacemonger Jay Houston Marx's doctrine of infinite flexibility. And we'll get things done. Are you familiar with the Jackson 5 Commandments?
Please do tell.
All right, well, commandment number 1, and this is very important, remind me to get back to it. Thou shalt Tito.
Thou shalt Tito.
Thou shalt Tito.
It was one of the brothers, I think.
It was one of the brothers, and a very important one at that.
Not Josef Broz Tito, the Yugoslavian, but this Tito.
No, but the principle of Tito itself is very large, and as some Latin American Green Party members practice, thou shalt Tito Puente. So everyone marches to their own beat, but we all come together on the one, like Mickey Hart taught us in The Grateful Dead. Let's just bow our heads for a minute in the name of John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Let's move on. All right, number 2, thou shalt moonwalk and make it look easy.
Okay.
Jill Stein makes running against the 2 larger parties look easy, and that's what I like about her. You don't show the difficulty. You just glide through the madness, and eventually people will catch up with you when they get tired. Number 3. Mama say, mama sama, mapusa, or makusa. I'm not really certain what that lyric is, but I think the subtext of that commandment is, thou shalt try to learn another language besides English. A little bit here and there. Say thank you in Syrian. Say hello in Polar Bear. Donde está el baño? The Dalai Lama treats the janitor as well as the office holder in equal regard, and that is something I would like to bring to politics, is respect for everyone. We are all in this. not just the fancy guys in the suits with the permanent parking place and healthcare forever, which I'd like to be. So if you're suffering from Bethesda affluenza or something else like that, you can vote for me and you'll be effectively changing, the world as it is. So putting me on salary. Number 4, control. As Janet Jackson has taught us, thou shalt control. Janet Jackson is kind of like the fifth Beatle, in the Jackson 5. She was there all along. No one gives her credit. Maybe it's a gender-specific issue. I don't know. Amen and a women for her presence. I love her. Number 5, and I think this will apply to my campaign, should I continue to think this is a good idea, is thou shalt beat it. Maybe you've had to relate. If you're running for office and the other candidate has more money, thou shalt beat it. If you are a young 12-year-old boy and you see an Anne Margaret poster, thou shalt beat it. If you are a chef running a wonderful homegrown organic restaurant in D.C. and you're cooking up pancakes for everyone and you've got those fresh farm eggs bought from a Maryland farm, crack them open and thou shalt beat it. No one needs to be defeated. Mama say, mama sa, mama pusa, or makusa, really.
Wonderful.
But let's get back to Tito. Let's close out with Tito, because that's very important.
We opened.
Yes, thou shalt Tito. Well, some people, shy people, like to Tito through the tulips. But Michael Jackson, he could sing 3 octaves. He could improvise a 4-hour concert. He could create magic. But Tito lived longer. Tito lived longer and did less. Yeah. And that's important for our world right now. It's important for the youth to understand that longevity is the name of the game. It's important for the earth right now. Tax breaks on solar panels would be a wonderful thing so that this earth can Tito through the universe and not burn out like Michael Jackson did. So with that,
this is the platform.
This is the platform, although I've left out the doctrine of infinite flexibility, which is very key. I mean, sometimes the Jackson 5 commandments change. Like, for example, I was gardening before I came here, and I was adhering to the commandment, thou shalt germinate. Just in some instances, that's my favorite liquor. You can order me a glass of Saint Germain. But in other instances, it means thou shalt spread the seeds of love, the seeds of peace. Thou shalt give tax breaks to people who turn their houses into organic farms and give back to the community from the rewards they reap. Reap, not weep. Reap. Yeah, sorry about that.
Elizabeth Croydon, you're watching the one and only my friend and friend of our mutual friend, Elizabeth Croydon.
The late great Jay Houston Marx.
Thank you.
And that would be part of my platform too, is the abolishing nuclear weapons. I mean, Garrett Park in Montgomery County is a nuclear-free zone. Tacoma Park is a nuclear-free zone. I think that Maryland should and if I'm elected, most definitely will work with Proposition 1, the bill that is up for a vote, or it's not going to vote yet, but with your help, it will. The bill that's going to erase nuclear weapons and move our economy to a peace economy.
Well, I think conclusively, this book, Green Growth, Smart Growth, is a new book by Ralph Fuchs that offers the positive vision for the Green Party, for jobs, solar jobs, wind jobs, talks about what all of the scientists, the engineers are doing in the world to build a green economy. When you talk about the future of power.
Oh. Very sexy
power.
Word, very important word.
Thank you.
Green power.
Green power.
I like it already.
You go for the solar, and Ralph Fuchs here points out in Green Growth, Smart Growth that very costly nuclear power. It's the most expensive. You can't build it without massive federal subsidies, and those subsidies you don't need for solar, wind, geothermal, and of course, solar, wind, geothermal, also much better for the planet.
Yeah, I believe in the Muhammad Ali Lama. Sometimes you do have to, fight. Like maybe if I'm elected, I want to bring back Ukrainian parliament fights to the states. Put it in a 1-2. Mr. Yuck was mean and Mr. Yuck was green. People remember that. But there's no need to bring nuclear weapons into the scenario or nuclear energy. There are infinite, vast amounts of energy that never give out. Robin Williams was one. Wind power is another. Solar energy is a third. So I'm all about that. I'm all about alternative energy. And
Elizabeth Croydon on Green TV with us today, and I want to
I got my serious face on. Gosh darn it. Changing the world is very serious. I need to activate all of the young voters to get behind the Green Party. There is a party for you. Join the Millennial Falcon and soar into outer space with Carrie Campbell and myself. Vote for me or vote for the Green Lantern. One or the other. As long as it's green. As long as it's green. Right, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah, it's great. I was wanting to talk just a bit about Jay Houston Marx and how we knew Jay. And for those of you who watched, we did an entire special earlier in last year, in 2015, where we featured Jay Houston Marx. And Jay Houston Marx was a Green Party candidate for Congress, an advocate for green energy, and Tella, Jenna, you talk about Jay had Hollywood good looks. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I always tried to get Jay to the side of entertainment, to be able to affect people in a nonpartisan manner, because one of the most difficult things is navigating the political circus. But Jay never had a problem with that. He made everyone from every side like him, even though he was standing outside of Rumsfeld's home yelling for him to stop progressing a war agenda. Donald Rumsfeld would probably still sit down and have dinner with Jay Houston Marx. He was a man of amazing charisma and incredibly talented, very poignant writer. And I forgot that he had run for Congress. So now I see that I'm sort of standing in his legacy.
Yes.
So here we go.
And a great speaker. Jay was a great speaker.
Oh, profound speaker.
Profound, and he could coin a phrase off the top of his head. The one soundbite that we used in the last show was charismatic carnivores.
Oh.
When he was talking about polar bears.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, charismatic carnivores. They are. I have some living in my home right now. They're fabulous. They share the chores around the house. They're, they are always serving me sushi, which is something that I like. And then, then beware of the bad charismatic carnivores, the ones that want to eat up our resources and our money and people's self-dignity in the process. That is something that I'd really love to see change, is to open up the political process so that everyone feels included. There are still numerous people that do not feel represented. And I wish to approach that from the more gonzo, Hunter S. Thompson, Jay Houston Marx perspective. But I could in no way speak as eloquently as he does.
I'm a Kentucky boy, by the way. When you talk about Hunter S. Thompson, of course, Hunter was from Kentucky.
Yes.
And did his very best to support the native industries there. Kentucky.
Yeah, he ran for sheriff in
Colorado
on freak power, and there are a lot of freaks in Maryland. Let's talk candidly here. Let's be blunt. Better yet, let's roll a blunt. There are people that the weed closet is deep. I would run on a legalization platform because it would create green jobs. It would be kind to the soil. It would bring in an industry and a taxation that is new to Maryland, and that would provide cooperative jobs. Look at the medical benefits of marijuana. The American government has come out and said that the U.S. government knows it cures cancer. There are answers that are less expensive that will change. Of course it will change. It will start a revolution, but I guarantee that in this revolution, you and I will be able to dance. And that is that is very important in my platform. I'm going to put the party back in the Green Party. I am willing to bring a new aspect of party politics to party. I'm party trained. I started when I was young. I crashed all the parties at Harvard. I ran into Dr. Jill Stein. We took STEMware 101 after we had graduated from Kegs. And now she and I have matured through our life to the real party politics, how to change the world through party politics. And remember, folks, safety is sexy. When I say I'm going to run on a legalization platform, I'm not saying it's a free-for-all. You know, Cheech and Chong, sure, they'll be my advisors. Chong cured himself from prostate cancer with cannabis. But we're not going to be riding around in a lowrider completely out of control. Oh, sure, we'll be riding around in a lowrider, or by then we might rename it to a high rider. But there is a responsibility. We'll have a driver drive us. We will not be driving. There is a responsibility to this new avenue of revenue for the American people, and I intend to show that we can uphold it.
Well, they've shown in Colorado,
yes,
where they are creating as a fiscal conservative green. What is appealing is they're creating all this tax revenue for the schools there. The last time I saw it was a couple $100 million. Is that right,
yes.
Elizabeth Croydon?
Yes, it is right, and it's wonderful to see that much go into education. One of the things that I would really like to see change, or I don't want to say change because we're so good at it already. We're rated one of the top states in education, but I would like to see us take that even further and be on the forefront of meeting children's critical needs, special needs, working with the Americans with disabilities to figure out different cognitive approaches to teaching so that our children, by the time they graduate high school, are ready to go and grow in new ways that they had never considered before, even though they were labeled early as dyslexic or cognitively impaired. I would like to see us be a trendsetter. I would like to blaze some trails. And
it's a wonderful idea. Elizabeth Croydon on Independent Green Party, Green TV with us today. Elizabeth Croydon is also a movie director. We mentioned at
yes.
the top of the show. If people want to see your film, tell us the name, tell us where we can find it. Where can they buy it?
Well, one is available for free for those of you on a low, tight budget. You can go see my first movie, which was a low, tight budget movie called Washington Interns Gone Bad. And that is available in chapters on YouTube. Washington Interns Gone Bad. I play a corrupt chief of staff in a Democratic office, and my congressman, Dick Ford Brainston, has sold his vote, Republican, on the Fair Trade Act, Fast Track Trade Authority, to the Republican House in exchange for a golf vacation. And we shot that before a politician had actually exchanged his vote for a golf vacation. So some people accuse us of being a visionary. but moving right along, I had intended to follow that up with Washington Interns Gone Baghdad, but someone is waving smoke signals in the background there.
Yeah, that's them telling us three more minutes.
Oh, okay.
So we're fine. We're doing great.
Okay,
thank you, Gail Farrell Parker, who is
Gail Parker.
Gail Farrell Parker, the beloved director and producer of Green Party, Green TV.
Fantastic to meet the crew here.
Yes, fantastic. And Roy?
Yes.
Wonderful job.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, tell us the name of your movie. Folks, just go Google it.
Sure. Google my name, CROY, because I want to change things for the greener. DON, you can see Washington Interns Gone Baghdad, You or I, or Underbelly Blues, and you can see some of my earlier comedy sets.
Elizabeth Croydon.
I headline at Stand Up New York, and when I run, should I continue to run for office, I will be having the best fundraisers in town. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee that.
Now, if people want to reach you by email, or if you've got your Facebook page, what's the best way they can reach you?
You can reach me on Twitter at @Croydon, or you can send us an email at the Evil Do-Gooder radio show with my partner Evil Do-Gooder, who has agreed to be one of my campaign managers. He's in charge of special ops. The Artful Dodger is my campaign manager. Evil Do-Gooder at yourcityradio.com is a good email, and it's spelled Evil Do-Gooder, D-O-G-O-O-D-E-R. And where else? You can see me on Facebook. You can look for me on Facebook. You know, I'm here, there, everywhere, just like the Beatles song.
And your campaign manager's name was?
Artful Dodger.
Artful
Yeah,
Dodger.
and it's a legitimate campaign manager, which is, which is why they're remaining anonymous. Actually, we've started a group called Synonymous. We're like anonymous, but less so, you know. But the Artful Dodger is actually a political strategist. I mean, Gary Johnson was one of the first people, presidential candidate Gary Johnson was one of the first people to encourage me to run for office.
Good for him.
But Artful Dodger has, high-level State Department clearance and would like to perhaps remain a little low-key behind the throat, behind the deep throat, deep throat of this candidate right here. For various reasons, I have no idea why.
Why?
But they will be advising me. I have to tell you though, Carrie, I have an arrest record. I have an arrest record. I was arrested after dropping hundreds of dollars on the Senate floor and rolling around in it to bring attention to Monsanto buy-offs in office holders that are already holding office. And I've been arrested dressed as Santa fighting for fair wage. So my campaign undoubtedly will have some pranks and some antics that you won't see in other candidates.
Santa, so it sounds like
Santa,
when you got arrested for Santa, for demonstrating for
no one wanted
veterans.
to arrest Santa.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're waving at us again. I think we have to wrap. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Oh, this was too much fun. Elizabeth Croydon.
Too much fun is always better than not enough.
That's absolutely right. Elizabeth Croydon on Independent Green Party Green TV today. Let's pay tribute to Jay Houston Marx one final time, our beloved friend, the Green Party candidate for Congress. Jay, it's all for you, dear Jay.
Jay lives.
We thank you for watching Green TV today. We'll see you again next time.